Well, good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, humans of all species, ages, and all that. Ken Krell here, coming to you live this beautiful morning. I can see the future. It's a bit hazy today, but hopefully we'll clear the haze for you and give you some clarity, which is what the intention of today's segment is. For those of you that are not familiar with me, I help people create massive results in their digital events as well as in their businesses through some creative methods of seeing opportunities that may not be there in front of you. I'm honored today to be working with a friend of mine who I've known for years. And we were talking the other day about what she's creating in the sponsorship arena. I'll give you a little bit of a background on it in a second. And I said, Sheila, what we're talking about is something that other people can really benefit from in a big way. Would it be okay if we actually did it and did our consult, our mastermind together publicly? And she said, well, sure. It's a great way for her to expose what she's doing, what she's doing, not what she's wearing, but expose what she's doing. And in any event, so that's what we're going to do. Let me bring her on real quickly here. Because she's laughing at me already, which is typically part of the arrangement. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible, sexy Sheila Faragher-Gemma. Good morning, Sheila, or good afternoon to you.
How are you? Yeah, afternoon. 3:20 over here.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's a little bit different than 420, which would have a completely different meaning. Anyway, I'm giddy. I've been going since about 3:30 my time. I've got an event coming up, and it's been kind of wild. But for those that don't know you, you have been kind of the intel inside and helping big events generate thousands of dollars in revenue from sponsors coming in to actually, whether it be a booth or some other participation in their events.
Yep.
And you also are the co-founder of the I'm going to say it wrong. The Boost. Give it to me. Give it me again.
No, that's all Deanna.
I'm just Deanna? Oh, yeah, sorry, Deanna. I love you, Deanna. Don't smack. All right, forget that. But it was something. You had an association that you guys
did. The Mastermind group. We did that together years and years ago. Back
there, you go. Way back when we were all pre-COVID. That was PC. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so today what we're going to do is Sheila is creating a new program, which I've been after her to do for a long time, right? And where the baby's being born, we're forcing the baby out of the womb. And what are we going to call it, by the way? Do we have
yeah, that would be a good start. Sponsorship product. That's what it's been so far in all of my Google Docs.
Okay, so let's start off then. What's it going to do for people? What's the benefit it's going to bring to people?
So the benefit is it's going to show them how to really leverage stuff that they already have. So they're putting on events, or they have marketing and collateral, or any of these things, and they can leverage it by bringing in some more money, by exposing someone who needs to be exposed to that audience to it, and they'll gladly pay. So
okay, okay, that's great. Now let's put it into concrete terms for someone that we want to make them salivate. We want to make them like, I want this right now, right? So it's going to teach them how to do that. What would you say? What is the biggest success story, for example, that you can talk about in terms of results for people?
Yeah, so the success, the immediate success story, and it's not the one I focus on, is just the money. Like, you can have enough sponsors at your event that it totally pays for the event. But the bigger thing that happens in the background is the strategic partnerships. So all of a sudden you have sponsors coming back year after year after year, but also doing things with you during the year that are helping your list and helping your tribe and bringing value to them, and you're bringing value to them, and everyone's getting paid, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Exactly. Azim says it right. He's like, show us the money. And well, that's what's going to help us get it sold. Because people are going to buy it because of greed. Greed sells. People buy emotionally, they justify logically. So, strategic partnerships, great word, but I'm not getting excited about it yet. It's like I'm going to say this in a tacky way because I've been up all night, well, close to all night. So your marketing needs to be their Viagra, their emotional Viagra, right? It's got to. I need to have coffee. That's good. I'm glad we're recording this. So your solution needs to be their emotional Viagra. So what is the promise? Okay, they come to your training, they attend it in whatever fashion it's going to be. We've talked about it being multiple modules, and you're going to deliver it live and all that. But what's their big economic takeaway? In fact, before we even get to that, you've had clients before, obviously many clients over the years. What kind of numbers? Let's just take a small client for the moment, because I know you have some people watching that are either getting started with their new events, certainly with people coming to our Pride event, for example. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Sheila's going to be one of our guest experts during Pride this weekend. But when people take your program, right, what can they emulate? In other words, you've got people that you've worked with, big and small. Give me a couple of smaller groups that maybe some of our students can identify with, and what you've been able to do for them.
So, I mean, the big thing for, and again, we're doing this in a couple of different arenas, but let's just take an example of an event. So if somebody's trying to put on an event, live or virtual, there is a cost associated with it. So what if you could cover that cost before you sold a single ticket?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm saying, give me someone, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but what's going to help you sell this is the case study, right? So, and you don't have to out a name yet, you'll get permission before you do that, but give me John Doe, right? Was doing an event. His first event kind of was like, oh God, it was. The second event, he brought you in, you did X, Y, and Z. You found 16 different sponsors, each one ponied up anywhere between $5,000 and $15,000. And he had $150,000 of revenue before he even started selling a single ticket. That's the kind of thing that we're looking. That's good, because that's people like, I'm in. I mean, Azim's like, give me his credit card right now, in whatever currency it is. So those are the things we need to have in order to also, number one, get your marketing squared away. So people are going to be like jumping over hoops to get to you. Secondly, it's also going to help you structure what you're teaching, because now you have deliverables.
Right? Exactly.
So think, and by the way, it doesn't have to be, Johnny with his one little event. It could be, because I know you were, and I don't know what I can say and what I can't say for who you've worked with. So because I know some of the big players you've worked with, if you can say it, I'll let you do it, but I don't want to necessarily, I'm not sure what confidentiality we have about you being the intel inside. Right. So I don't want to, because just for you guys watching, Sheila and I go back years. And I know some of the big players she's worked with, and I don't think it's my place to necessarily disclose those. You will have to give me something good for an intro during the event this weekend. But let's talk about that. What success stories do you have for people that you've made money for?
Yeah, so I talk about a small event and a big event. So, and I'm not going to give the names. I'm not able to do that. No, but a small event would be someone who's, just kind of their first, second event, maybe 100 people attending, just to be able to bring in some sponsors. And again, we just really leverage what's been thought of the event, making sure that the sponsors we bring in are a really good fit. We've brought, for a small event like that, we've brought, $35,000, $40,000 in revenue that really just kind of takes care of most of their event for them. But the bigger thing is that they're bringing such value to their students who are coming to the event, because it's like the last thing you want to be is kind of a swarmy kind of, oh, these guys, every time I walk out of the ballroom, I'm getting pulled into a booth and being sold. It's not like that. You want people there that the students are need. So they're going to be inside the ballroom, assuming a live event, learning whatever, and then they come out and here are the resources that they need to get them to the next step. So it's a huge win for everyone. So the event promoter isn't worrying kind of 2 weeks before the event when he hasn't sold enough tickets, because it kind of doesn't matter. The bills are paid already for the hotel, and the students are getting a great value. And then likewise, I've come into events that have been a little larger that we've been able to just maximize that sponsorship up into, pretty high figures. So it's kind of, a little bit of both, really.
What is pretty high figures?
I would say, getting close to I'm awful at math, the 7-figure, is that over $1 million?
So you brought in over $1 million in sponsorship money.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's a nice little payday, and I know there's got to be credibility that goes along with it that you build up. But I mean, do you see much difference in digital events versus physical?
Yeah, so digital events are becoming newer for us just because of COVID and everything. So people are really kind of struggling to to really kind of make themselves stand out. Because originally digital events where you maybe have a banner ad at the bottom of the screen, maybe the host would say something about you at one point, but now you need to get more inventive about it and do things like set up appointments for the sponsors and Zoom meetings and things like that, so that they really kind of, you want to make it as close to as an in-person event as possible. So if it has to be in person on the phone like we are here, that's what it's going to be. But with your sponsors, you always want to bring them a ton of value, because it has to be a two-sided relationship. I've seen too many people try and bring in sponsors, and they're just interested in the check, and once that's cash, they don't really care.
Well, what we teach people, and you'll be part of it this weekend, is that the sponsor is another client. As an event producer, you really have multiple clients. You have your attendee, but you also have the sponsor, because you've got to, if they're investing money with you. And now we've done some trades as well. So there's been in-kind stuff, whether we've had services provided for us and we're paying it back in kind or whatever, especially if you have an unproven model, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we've done that.
It's money that you're either paying for or you're getting it, you're doing it in kind. It's fine.
Exactly. So, and we go back, to the days of live, I forgot with the days of live conference TV, so now you're having some pivot to digital. But remember the days with live conference TV when you were producing, you were producing it with me, and people would not embrace the value of digital events because, it's still physical enough, BS to that story, right? What a shift now. Like I'm just come back to when we tried to land Russell Brunson, they were like, no. And now they're like, come to our new digital event. It's awesome. Whatever. So let's dive back now into the value proposition. So take Sheila's training, right? And discover how Sheila was able to raise anywhere from 5 figures to, mid 5 figures to 7 figures for events, and how could this apply to your event, right? And how can we make this work for you? Is that's the value we're bringing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, so we got to get super clear about that now, because that's the peep. Now, giving it a brand, just so that there's something you can work with as opposed to the event course. It's funny. My friends Barry and Blue did a course called TVE, the virtual event on virtual events, which was like interesting. You could have, the event on sponsorships, TES, the event on sponsorships. As opposed to, because I know we talked before we came on, I wanted to call you sponsorship queen, and you were like, I could see you like, like not a chance in hell. So we, it's got to be something, as you brand it, it's got to be something that you're comfortable with, that you can live with, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because we're, and you don't know this yet, but we're shifting from live conference TV, which people don't really get, and it's as much as that's what we were, to amazingdigitalevents.com.
Nice.
So because it's what you do. We produce amazing digital events. So that's it. And Pride has produced ridiculously irresistible digital events. So it's consistent. So for you, how do we then craft a name that will excite you, or what would excite you? Sponsorship profits, sponsorship.
But and we've talked about this before, that it may have a negative connotation, leveraging sponsorship. It's still not like in your face, bam,
Oh, I like this. Azim's got it nailed. You're the madam of money.
Thank you. I don't like the madam name either. Thank you so much.
that probably has,
I can't see them coming through.
What's that?
I said, I wish I could see the comments. I can't see them coming throrough.
Oh, it's posted on the screen. Can you see them?
Oh, yeah. I see it there. Yep.
There it is. Yep. So, Azim's one of the more creative people that I know. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And he's good at branding too. So, but if we got to give the event a name, we have to give the training a name that inspires people, right? Mm-hmm. So, sponsorship profit formula is, think about some of the successful programs out there. What are you doing? What are you giving people as a deliverable? Sponsorship profit blueprint, sponsorship.
Maybe, I don't know.
What's that?
Sponsorship secrets.
Sponsorship secrets could work. And wow, suddenly I'm getting, oh, it's echo to you. It's echoing on you there for a second.
Yeah, it's I was going to call in. Can you still hear me?
I hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay, because you're gone kind of quiet.
Oh, honey, I'm never quiet.
No, never.
So no, I would sponsorship secrets is okay, but what does it necessarily? Okay, here's Azim. Sponsorship made simple. So now we're all masterminded together.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, it is
He
good.
is good.
SMS. It's a SMS.
SMS.
Think about that. Send an SMS.
Yeah.
Sponsorship made simple. That's good.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. So thank you, Azim. He only wants a 15% royalty for that, by the way. FYI.
No worries.
I'm his agent. We're splitting the profit on that.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah. He's meeting with me in about an hour, actually, about an hour and a half. So yeah, about an hour and a half, actually. So anyway, so sponsorship, let's just play then, if you like it, with sponsorships made simple. Okay, which is a good value proposition, and then a tagline below it saying, but not easy. There you go. Right? But not easy. I'm not sure what we're talking about there, but that's a different conversation altogether. So a tagline below it would be add 5, 6, or 7 figures to your bottom line. How to add 5 to 6 to 7 figures to your bottom line. Something like that would then be a clarifier to get people to buy in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now, does that give you a little bit more confidence, at least in terms of moving forward with a plan, a little bit more of a direction, something concrete?
It does. Yeah. It's funny. I never thought of starting with the name. I figured that the name would, maybe I'll just keep calling it sponsorship product. That's
really, that's like so generic. I don't think so. It's like calling it toilet paper. No. See, here's the thing that I experience is when we begin with the end in mind. So here's what we're going to call it. Here's what like pick the baby's name kind of thing. I mean, you don't think the baby's name when you're making the baby. You don't think about the name. Like, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, it's going to be Tom. No, But in this case, we're creating a baby, your branded baby, and it gives you a different vision. I always like to begin with the end in mind of things. How to turn your cost into profit. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And that'll, by the way, be in all the Facebook notes. By the way, he's on Facebook groups, and you have access to it because we're Facebook friends. So Azim's pretty awesome. He could be on here too. So let's get even deeper now, right? So now we have something you have a little bit more passion for, a little bit more concreteness to it, because beginning with that end in mind really does make, at least for me, a huge difference, because now it's real.
Yep.
Because you've been talking about this thing for a long, long time, and now it's like the baby's coming. And, which is another reason why I wanted you on as a guest, because it's like, you've been hiding your stuff too long. You've been cheating the world. And by the way, I'm not really kidding about that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I do when I train my students is, those that are afraid. I had someone on a webinar just the other day that was like, I don't have anything to teach or to sell. And I'm like, you do, excuse me. Hello. I call it wisdom transfer, WT, because we all have stuff that we can share and sell, and you do, so when you don't offer that, you're cheating people, because they're not getting to really have the benefit of you. And if you left the planet for whatever reason, in whatever fashion, leave it where there's something of legacy that people can take and utilize. So, so that's the whole kind of responsibility that you have right now as well.
Right.
So yes. So now there's responsibility. Oh my God, more responsibility, Sheila, just what you need. You got Tony, you got the kids, you got, clients, and now even more. Now you got me. Right. So okay, cool. Now, we talked about how you're going to deliver it, and what's your plan?
So my plan is I am conducting a 6-week masterclass, which may roll over into 7. I've got a lot of content as I'm planning it out. So my thought is to do the class, but as I'm doing it, do a lot of asking for feedback from the participants, to see if there's stuff that maybe, it was even interesting, like I had a few people sign up and I sent them out a survey, and I thought I knew what the typical questions would be, or the typical things that they didn't know about. And they, some of them kind of surprised me. I was like, oh wow, I didn't think somebody would, because when you're in the middle of when you're in it yourself and you're doing it, you don't see the, what other people might think or not understand. So that was really good.
You can't read the label when you're inside the bottle.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm sure everyone knows that, but not necessarily.
But understand, it's like, I can give you all sorts of great advice, and then tomorrow on another subject, you'll be like doing the same thing back to me. We're so close to our own stuff,
exactly.
Which is why masterminding and having these kind of conversations is important, which is why I also want to share it with others, because we do need to have people that are on our team that we can share with, which is really how my business grew this year, because I recognize what I had to offer for myself, in terms of who I am. And because I've been doing it for years and years for other people now, finally. Right. So for you, it's really the same evolution, and you beat me up about this as well. So it does kind of come full circle. My question to you is a couple of things. Number one, the original plan that you had was to do it as a trial run and comp some people in and then play it from there. And I had a visceral reaction to that. Do you remember what my reaction was?
Are you asking if I remember?
Yeah, you're crazy. What was that I said? What did I say to you?
Yeah, something about it, you're crazy. I think it had more flowery language, but
it was more flowery. There was a word that was very flowery in there. As a matter of fact, are you blank crazy? Yes. Yeah. So here's the lesson I really want other people to have, which is why I wanted to take it on here. And that is, so you wanted to do a trial run, comp people in, all right, get their comment and so on. And my take on it, that's what's a wonderful idea, except for the fact that completely devalues you. You're saying come for free. They won't take it as seriously because they're not paying. There's no skin in the game.
Yep.
Right. And and no, I mean, it's also not a valid market test, because there's no one's made any investment in you.
Right.
So what I've been teaching for years is called the PSC method. PSC: plan it, sell it, then create it. Right.
Yep.
So you're kind of backing it out. You're like planning it, creating it, giving it away, getting feedback, and then maybe you'll sell it. That's like really convoluted.
Yeah.
What I want you to do, and of course I'm telling you what to do because I am now in charge of the stream, right? Of the video stream here.
Is that why I'm muted all of a sudden?
Exactly. It's like, shut up, I'm talking. So I'm learning to say, I invite you to consider. My friend Tim Johnson's teaching me that. I want you to do this. So we're all still learning. But what I invite you to consider is, and it doesn't sound so much better, I invite you to consider, as opposed to do it, damn it, is sell it. Now, the few people that you're comping in, fine, leave it there, but sell it. Even if it's a $97 deal, someone's got to put some skin in the game to validate it. We got to validate the thing. If people aren't going to pull out the credit card, then don't bother.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I have a friend of mine who has what's a wonderful program that she's offering. She can't get anybody to buy it because it's about, and I don't want to say what it is because people that know me and know her, it'll come out, be too close. But it's an esoteric program without a lot of tangibles. And we buy based on greed. We just do.
Yeah.
We buy on visceral, something that's optional, like, I'm going to feel better. Wonderful. I also want to pay the rent this month. What's going to convince me to take my rent money, or the money that I could use for something else and give it to you? So in your case, right, your promise is 5 figures of revenue from an event.
Right.
Cover the cost of your event before it ever starts, right? Big difference. If you're educating about sponsorship, you're not congruent with your content if you're giving it away. Good point.
There you go. I like this guy.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. I hang out with smart people. Yep. When I do, listen, with my high-end programs, and you'll need to do this as well, with my high-end programs, I select them. They're handpicked. I don't just let people just throw $10,000, $20,000 at me. Oh boy, because then I'm married to people that I may not want to be married to. I handpick my people. In fact, I personally called him and said, I want you in my program because he adds so much value. Right. Yeah. And we all get to win together because it's reciprocal. Right. So I want you to have the same experience. you do bring value to people, and they're morons if they don't pay you money. And even $97, which is a token of nothing, is at least something that validates what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. And frankly, Sheila, that's one way to play it. By the way, what would you, after this madness of free is over? And by the way, we can get to the free conversation, like no free in a minute.
I've already started. Yeah, I've already come up with the $97. When it's all over, I'm thinking somewhere between $997 and $1997.
Okay, so $1,000 and $2,000, and then when that 6 to 8 week program is over. By the way, I've done in the past a 6-week model with a 2-week or 6 session with a 2-session bonus.
Right.
So really 8 sessions. There's all sorts of value there. It works great, and so on. And yes, you want to record it so that way you now have it as an evergreen product. What's after that? They finish this program.
So after that, then it's I don't want to do a kind of a done for you, but a done with you is exciting to me. So because it's the whole thing getting sponsors. It's not rocket science, but there is a little bit of legwork in it, and just to kind of get going with that. So probably some sort of a group type coaching thing. But what I really want to get to is a mastermind at the end, because I think that will just be amazing. Yeah. And maybe not just for sponsorship, maybe like broaden it out to events. But there's so much that we can learn from each other. And I learned so much from masterminds myself that I really want to do that.
And I agree with that. So that would be your high ticket offer.
Yep.
Okay. You want to peg a price to that now, a goal price?
I'm thinking, I don't know, for your like 15, 20K.
Okay. All right. Are you worth it?
Oh yeah. Of course I'm worth it.
Thank you. There was no hesitation there. That was a test.
No hesitation. Yeah.
I saw no hesitation. Great. You laughed at me. That's great. That's what I want. All right. Because people are going to challenge you. What's the value proposition? And people pay it because they're buying results. I mean, think about this. One sponsorship or one event can more than cover the cost of you for years.
Oh yeah.
Done right.
For sure.
Same thing with me. The model of producing a ridiculously irresistible digital event, blah, blah, blah. One event, hell, one of my students, one of my Safari members did her first event, did not exactly follow the model that I teach at all. I mean, just really like, yeesh, right? I cringed when I saw the sales page. She had 8 people show up. Her investment in marketing was only $640 something. And she's brought in right now, she's clocked $18,000 so far.
Nice.
Right. For still screwing it up and not being perfect. Right. Imagine, and her next event, and she did it in 2.5 weeks. I mean, she's just like, boom. Right. So we don't need to be
That's good though. Is that move fast, just get through it. One of my favorite quotes is seek the swift sword. So if you're going to screw it up, let's get it screwed up and then move on,
Yeah. You can't, who is it said this? I think my friend Nancy Hand said this. You can't do another event until you've done your first one.
Right.
So you got to get it done. You can't do version 2.0 unless it's version 1.0, so get it done. And sometimes it's going to be like this, and then it goes back up again. You may see that as well. It's all part of the journey, and you can still play it out. So let's get your first event done. And I'm questioning, Sheila, whether your first event, just questioning if whether your first event should not be something like a 3-day as opposed to just, coming in over 6 weeks. And I'll tell you why I'm suggesting it. And why I love the 3-day model, or even, I'll just play with a 3-day model, because number one, they have the opportunity to bond with you over an intense period. Number two, you get it done. It's not like I in my brain, in my wacko brain, I look at doing an event that's 6 to 8 weeks long as like having cancer. It's like, it's long. It's just long. It's just long. I want to get it. I almost want to get it done. So if you were to, and by the way, one of the reasons why I designed Pride as I designed Pride, which is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is because if I'm teaching people how to do events, let's do an event. Let's do it. Do it during an event. And in fact, I've been challenged this time. I'm producing it myself. Chuck, who does my technology and does my production, said, I dare you to do it yourself. So I said, fine.
Wow.
I said, fine, you're fired. So we have a smaller audience this time. We have a much smaller audience this time. So it's going to be a much more intimate group. And I don't need to have the big guns behind me. If you have a bigger audience, you do want a third person to manage all that. But no, I'm doing it myself. So you still can. And the beautiful thing about digital for you and for everybody watching is that you've got really no expense to do it. Right now, right now, we're broadcasting on StreamYard, and it's being broadcast on Facebook. It's being broadcast live on YouTube as well, right this minute.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I know. It's my little secret. And with their big plan, you can broadcast to 8 different channels, immediately, simultaneously. So we're in the Opportunity on Live group. We're in my main feed, and we're in my YouTube channel. So, and we have Azim watching us. So there we go. It's all that matters, right? But the beautiful thing is, when I did Opportunity-thon back in April, we used StreamYard as well. I was on a 30-day trial plan. So we broadcast the entire event, 20 and a half hours, 55 speakers, nonstop, zero cost.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know, right? Because it was fantastic. And now I'm paying for it. So yes, guys, StreamYard, you're getting your money, don't worry. But it was a wise choice for them. So, and for you though, I would do it with Zoom. I would do it with Zoom. And given us, you can piggyback on my account. So I got a Zoom Pro account, and you could use my account.
Oh, I have a Pro account as well. Yeah, because I remember I was doing those summits.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
then we need to talk, because how much you paying for it?
I want to say like $20, $26, something like that.
Okay, we need to talk, because I can get it for you for 13.
Okay.
My VIPs are getting the Pro account with 500 seats for $13 a month.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, for real. Yeah, it's great. But
Very
I can't
cool.
call it Zoom. It rhymes with a room, but I can't call it Zoom. Wink, wink. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. So so you've got the Pro account, which is fine. If you didn't, I just let you piggyback. My people, I'm like, if you don't have the Pro account and you don't want to spend $13 a month, well, if you don't want to spend $13 a month, you're not serious. But but if you want to piggyback on our account, or you need a separate account for more people or whatever, I let people use it as needed within my community, because if I have capacity, it's fine. Anyway, I'm going to suggest that you consider running it as an event. And it's done, even if it's just a one day. Right.
Yeah.
So what you can do is an intro, $99. I mean, Pride, for example, right now we've got a $99 special on Pride just to get them in the door, because the back end, your back end's 15 to 20K. Yeah. Maybe your inaugural back end is 10. Our inaugural back end on Safari was 10K. It's not anymore.
Right.
The offer, I said it would never be the same, and it's not. It's a different offer now.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it's, I would say it's a stronger offer now, as it should be. But the people that came in at 10K are grandfathered that way forever. They will never pay more, as long as they stay in the program.
That's awesome.
You reward people that way. It's important. And frankly, they're the people that provide you with the initial feedback to make it better. They provide you with the initial testimonials to make it better along the way. And they really do, in a lot of ways, become your family. I mean, these guys, I've got some things planned for them. I've got a meeting with them in about an hour. We meet every week, and it's a joy, and that's the beautiful thing, because when you start pivoting this way, Sheila, you're never working anymore.
Yeah. Well, you never work doing this stuff. And those guys as well. I mean, it's for them, they're obviously like your biggest fans, which is great to build up that fan base right from the beginning, and it just makes life so much easier.
Yeah. So you have momentum, which is the point. So I'm going to suggest, and by the way, you have enough content for a 3-day program, no question, in my brain.
Oh yeah. Right? I think that's my problem, is I have too much content. I need to kind of edit it down or whittle it down a bit.
Yes. Let's be clear about that. As when you follow the 3-day model that I've been doing for years, I mean, I've been on stage doing it, but hell, you know me that way. Some people that don't know me, like 39 years, really? Yeah. I may be cute, but trust me, I'm up there, right? So when you follow the model and you know when you're making the offer and when you're repitching and when you're having your success panel brought in to validate and so on, there's, the first session in the morning is build rapport. Day one, like I call it the dance. Day one is make them love you, right? Content, rapport, blah, blah. Day two is certainly more content to validate. So they go, holy mackerel, or, whatever, holy something, holy guacamole. This woman is just, oh my God, I got to get more of her. Then there's the people that validate you. So you bring in your case study people who shall remain nameless at the moment, but who we're talking about, people that you've worked with, and I know a bunch of these people too. Bring them in, and and I could even talk about what you've done and so on because we've worked together. So now there's massive validation, and they, by the way, overcome all the objections people are going to have: money, time, emotion, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
Will it work for me? I never thought it would work, but oh my God, she raised $46,000 for me. Whoa, thank you, Sheila. And then you make your offer, and the offer is not for the $2,000 program because they're already getting it for $97.
Yeah.
Now, what's the real end goal? You want the mastermind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because really, that's where your heart is. You're like, of course. The way you lit up when you watch the recording. Look at how you lit up when you said mastermind. Like, oh. So really this what are we calling it here? Sponsorships Made Simple. That's your lead magnet for the mastermind.
Right. Yep.
That's really the game we're playing here. I don't know if I've talked to you about this before, but I call it the Italian bullseye method. All roads lead to Rome. You want to be in the center of that bullseye is Rome. What's your Rome? The Rome for you is
the mastermind.
Bingo. So everything you do has to lead them there. Think about Joe Polish, right?
Yep.
What's his Rome?
Genius Network.
Yeah. And what's the centerpiece to Genius Network?
Was the centerpiece to Genius Network?
Yeah.
Joe Polish? I'm not sure.
No. Up until he had the 100K thing, it was the 25K club.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Right. So that all Joe ever talked about was 25K. He would do a couple of isolated programs here and there, but it was always all about 25K.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much is the 25K program? It's like
$24.99 maybe.
Yeah. What time is the midnight buffet? So with that in mind, run the sponsorship program, right? To get people in the room. And even if you get, as Pam did, 10 people in your event, 20 people in your event. I mean, this upcoming Pride is a really small event.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But how lucky are the people coming to it? They're going to have so much more of you.
Oh, no question. Absolutely. It's a big deal. So, you may not have as much dancing around all the other stuff, but you've got a much deeper connection. So when people look at quality, now listen, Tony Robbins did 23,000 people and they loved it. Because you can still go to the camera and go, listen, I'm talking to you. I got a microphone holding me back here. But you really can, and in Zoom you can see them just like I see your face right now. So you can have that level of connection, which is what I've been teaching. So
right.
So I'm going to suggest. I mean, does that make sense to you? Would you rather just get it over with in a weekend and just get everybody in one place one time?
It does. It does. Yeah, it does and it doesn't. The reason I like the 6 week is because I really want to, on this first go, like for future ones, I think that would be awesome. But for the 6 week, I have some like really, really heavy hitters, people that I respect a lot. I'm actually a little bit intimidated by some of the people who signed up, but I know I'm going to get some really good, solid feedback. I already have from them. So I think I prefer to do the 6 week initially, incorporate that back in, and then go out with a 3 day.
Okay. Whatever's most comfortable for you in terms of delivery.
Right.
And Sheila, you might ask them what they prefer.
Yeah. They're probably all going to say 3 day, but.
And you know what you think really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, it really doesn't matter because again, end result is you want their testimonials, you want their feedback, you want their love, yada, yada, yada. So why not see what they would prefer to have? And by the way, if you do it as a 3 day, when is the event finished?
In 3 days.
Yeah, not in 6 to 8 weeks. A lot can happen in 6 to 8 weeks, babe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and again, I'm making that suggestion because I'm one of the people that want it now. You know that about me.
Yes.
Right. It is a double-edged sword. And you can be conservative in some cases, which is a lot to be said for that too, but ask them if they would prefer to have a 6 to 8 week program weekly, drip weekly, or would they like to just be able to take what you got and put it into place immediately? Gee whiz, how that question was asked. You want to wait 2 months for the, you want to wait 2 months for the result? Do you want to have the result in 3 days?
There you go.
That's
a little bit like the other one that you said in the beginning, which I can't remember now how Tim Johnson told you to phrase it this way.
Oh yeah, you might want to consider. Yeah, exactly. God bless you, Tim. But think about that end game. I wonder if the 6 to 8 week thing is comfort zone for you because you have time to adapt and flow, as opposed to just putting it all out there. It's just a question. I don't know.
It may be. It certainly may be, because it's a lot of the comfort and the safety net with the 6 week thing as well is that I can pivot as I go if I need to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it probably is.
I'll tell you something else too. Pivot as you go. The beauty of a 3-day is that you can. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but when I was speaking years ago for Russ Whitney, I was like their top speaker. I mean, for the fulfillment programs where I was actually teaching, not just selling. Mm-hmm. And there was a waiting list for my classes. I mean, there just was. It was a good deal. I was sold out. It was really kind of awesome because I gave an experience. I mean, we did we did fun stuff. We had dinners, class dinners the night of before the class, and it was day one of the class. It was a class dinner, and I had them already preset. They knew they were going to be coming to dinner before the event was there. So it was already pre-framed. It was going to be fun and different. No one else did that kind of stuff. I did. Yeah. It was fun. And then we would do role plays in the room and I'd freak people out. It was an experience. They were getting energized, and so they came back and they told their friends and, so it was a star within the organization. When I left, I wasn't, right. There was a point to what I was going to say, and I totally what was I talking about? Oh my God, that's what happens when you get up at 3:30 in the morning.
But it's something about the content in the 3-day. You couldn't pivot.
Oh yeah.
You had to go right through.
Okay. So I brought in a speech coach, or a presentation coach, and what I discovered is I had no idea. Day one, love fest, totally love fest. I mean, it was just like. Day two, I became like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Apparently, I became not as nice, more intolerant, shall we say, right? And then day three, it was back to love fest again, So it was like, what the hell happened on day two? So when they told me about it, I was like, really? I couldn't believe it. It wasn't in my reality. So I said, next week when we do the event, because I was speaking every single weekend. Next week, when you see me go into day two behavior, what I want you to do is stop me right there in the back of the room, hold out your, just give me day two, right? Yeah. And so when I went into, Mr. Hyde mode, up went the fingers, day two, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I got it, right?
So, was it a particular thing, like, were you coming to a part where you were changing content or tactics or anything?
I still don't even know. Even know. But it just that awareness of, I'm shifting here. And I told the audience, I'm like, I guess I'm being a little bit weird here. I'm in day two mode. And I told the audience and they laughed and it just everything went away. It just cleared everything. The point is that you have plenty of room to adjust, modify, and shift during a 3-day. You don't really have it so much on a 1-day, but on a 3-day you do, Sheila. Yeah. So if you find, and by the way, you have someone watch the chat. You have, so there's someone keeping an eye on what the questions are, where the disconnect may or may not be, and by the way, you're dealing with an audience that loves you anyway. Number one, well, no. And don't laugh. It's serious. No, I mean, the people that are saying yes to you right now, A, love you, B, want to support you, C, respect you, and D, want to learn from you.
Yeah.
Right. So they are absolutely cheering you on. The people that buy your tickets are the same thing. They want to learn from you. They want everything you got. They want your WT, your wisdom transfer. Right.
Okay.
So they're in complete support of what you do, and there's nothing to be afraid of, or even nervous about. And you will be. We all are.
Right. Yep.
I got an event coming up on Friday, right? And I'm like, what am I going to do different this time? I mean, it's listen, it's all right here. It's all in the book. It's already done. I've done the event already. But it's still gonna be different. I got new speakers coming in. I got some new content that I'm doing. Some lessons from the last time, and you will. So my feeling is, give them the results as quick as possible. And by the way, now you're validated. Because let's look at this. Let's look at this. You do the event. It takes you 8 weeks, and then when's your next one? Well, gee whiz, I got a couple months to plan it out. Got to have more marketing time. So now your second event is 2 months after that, maybe. So now you're 4 months before your second event. That's another waiting game. And how long has it been? How long has this product been in planning?
Oh my gosh, like 6 years.
Yeah. So
when I come back over my stuff, I'm going over Google Doc, and then I find another one. They're all titled the same thing: sponsorship product and bullet points. Right. And
So with all, if we were not public, I would be saying something slightly different to you. This is a little bit nicer right now. It's like, when would now be the best time to do an event and get this thing over with?
Right. Yep.
Okay. But let me see what Asim has to say about this. Have a 3-day intensive, then to do 2 follow-up, get unstuck days. Gives you the length to adjust, but gives your participants the tools to get it done straight away. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, because here's the thing about this. Here's the thing about those follow-up days. Okay, if they don't buy during the 3 days, those follow-up days give you the ability to resell them on the mastermind. Right. Yep. And your follow-up days can be 1 month and 2 months out. So now the mastermind's begun. So, for example, my Safari group has already been meeting for a couple months. I've got wonderful testimonials already. Yep. Right. And now, well, I can't tell them what they're getting today because we're getting something special today. But that experience, I can now leverage that, right? And so can you. Yep. So the model works, and listen, that I'm going to support you through it. So you're not doing this alone. I mean, Azim's got it right here. It's like, get on with it. Just Nike it, babes. Just Nike it. Enough. And the thing about it is, too much. What you're going to have to do is truly pair out what you have. And here's the big reason why. The more you give them, the more confused they're going to be. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like 3 things you're going to teach. 3 basic, there we go. I got to get centered in this. 3 basic things you're going to do. Because, and I learned this the hard way. I'll never forget one day, I just went long. I was in San Francisco, and I went and I did an event, and I just kept giving and giving. And I went like an extra hour, it was like channeling Joel Bauer, who just never stops. Right. And I love you, Joel. But he's just like the king of value. Just give. People are like, Joel, I got to go pee. No, I got more for you. It's like hysterical. Joel, my kids want me. No, I got more for you. He's hysterical. So I did that, and the next morning they all came in confused, and I had to redo about 2 hours of stuff I didn't plan to do because their heads were so jumbled and they got confused and they didn't hear things clearly. And a
confused mind says no.
Totally. The lucky thing is I wasn't selling anything. The only thing I was selling was concepts for them to implement, and they couldn't. So you've got to be super clear. And the biggest concept that they need to take away is, yes, I can do it. B, here's the steps. You can give them checklists and stuff that people love, checklists and things. And to know that there is a future with Sheila, that you're not going to love them and leave them. They can come join the mastermind. And, in this first iteration of your 3-day, for example, the mastermind may only be $7,000. It's going to be $15,000, whatever the number is going to be, it could be 12, whatever, it's going to be crazy cheap. And you guys are coming in as charter members. You're never going to pay more, or you're price protected for, 17 years, it's like, whatever, and some people will stay, some people won't, but whatever. Does that resonate for you?
It does. It does definitely resonate. Yeah.
Okay. So we've been going for a little while. I told you it would take us a little while to get here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling a little terrified about 3 days, but it seems to be that that's the thing. So got to rejig the whole thought process here.
Yeah. What are you terrified of?
Um, just that there isn't enough time. Again, as I said earlier, like if I have an idea of how this is going to go. If I need to go in another direction, I guess I mean, it's all here in my head anyway. I just need to get over myself.
Azim says, good luck. Yeah. Yeah. You do have to get over yourself, and understand this. Okay. And this is not necessarily for public consumption, but this again would be part of a conversation if it was you and I individually. And that is, you're not doing it alone, kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not doing it alone. I mean, you got a few people that know what the hell they're doing that are on your team, not just me, but all the other people that are part of your community all want to cheer you on, all want you to be successful. And frankly, a lot of us are bored with the conversation. It's like, get on, as Azim said, get on with it. Get on. Yeah. I'm going to put it up. Get the hell on with it, girl. Get it freaking done. You've been teasing us, you were like, you're just one big tease. So, I'm going to say it. What the hell? As if we were privately, cut the shit and get on with it, girl. Right? So pick a date.
Yep.
And we're talking January now, more than likely, because you got to have a little bit of marketing time. I mean,
yeah.
I would say probably in January, give yourself some marketing time so you can build an audience of people that are going to pay you, and have it done. And understand the first time will be the worst one you ever do.
Probably.
It's also the best one you've done to date.
Yeah.
So I teach that all the time. So, and yeah, of course, I'll guide you through it and everything, that's just who we are. But it'll be awesome. And the thing about it is also has relevancy because you will have sponsors for it. All your sponsors you've worked with over the years will come in and sponsor for you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And yeah, you've talked to me a lot of time. Well, Ken, you have to have a track record. They have to have yeah. And you do, and they'll come in and support you to, so you can validate. You've got the case studies, you got the people that love you. So like, there's nothing standing in your way except you,
Yep.
And if you want to make the pivot, make the transition and finally have the mastermind you've wanted to have for years, then shut up and do it. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, and this isn't just because we're being broadcast right now. It's because you have, so much. Right?
Sure do. Yep.
Yeah. So what would you say is your biggest takeaway from our little time together today?
So the biggest takeaway is the I was thinking more from an operations point of view than a sales point of view. So just kind of coming up with the name, the marketing, the why behind it. Like I'm thinking, these are the steps you have to take. I'm thinking as if I'm doing the job, like as if this is an event that I now had to find sponsors for, which is what they'll get inside it, but it's not what they need before they get in there. So.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to remember that without an audience, you don't have a program. It comes down to that. And the sooner you have the audience, the better, because then you can help them. And I'll tell you something else. The friends that you have that were going to come in to be part of your 6 to 8 week thing, they will help you bring in other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They will help you. If they, you can make, hey, look, I've got to repivot this. You can come for free as my guest, as I offered before, but you got to bring somebody else that's going to pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do something like that if you want. It's up to you. But come, but help me get it filled. And even if you only have 20 people, even if you have only 20 people,
yeah,
it's a successful event. Your first one can be a completely successful event with 10 people, for God's sakes. It doesn't, it really doesn't. We all get wrapped up in numbers. I remember my first Pride, I think I told you, I had 66 people registered. And I was feeling really bad about it, and so I called Casey Eberhardt, and we were talking.
I love Casey.
So do I. He's awesome. Casey's got like 9 events he's going to be speaking at this weekend, including mine.
Wow.
I know. Digital makes sense. He can go everywhere now without leaving the comfort of his home. And I've got him on. I show him in my webinar saying that because it's like for real.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said to Casey, I got 66 people. I'm feeling like like a really bad example. He goes, "What was your ad spend?" I said, "Nothing." He goes, "You're an idiot." He's like, "There are people spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars and having trouble filling a room, and you got 66 people and you spent nothing. God, how'd you do it?" You know, and he wasn't kidding around. He was serious.
Yeah.
So, you know, this next event, different conversation. Spent a lot of money on Facebook advertising with the wrong people, lost a fortune with the wrong people, literally a fortune. I'll be teaching that as well. I've got somebody new in place who's doing an amazing job. Just timing is off. So our numbers for our next event will be just the numbers for this event, very small, but we're still doing the event. And it'll be great for everybody that's there because it's going to be really intimate, you know? Nice. So your first event can be totally intimate. Doesn't need to be, I got something in my throat. I've got friends who spent $114,000 on Facebook ads. They put 1,000 people in the room for $114,000. They bought their way in, $114,000. Most people don't have that kind of liquid cash. So go small, you know, and take the money you earn from that. I mean, think about this for a second. Say you had 20 people in your room, right? Yep. And you sold 20%. You should be able to easily do that. And if not, we'll work, you and I and Tim and whatever, we'll talk, right? Yeah. So 20 people, 20% of that's 4 people that come into your mastermind and say 10K. Yep. 4 people times 10K. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Right. And then that money, you take half of that money, you pop it into your ad budget for the next event. And now we're leveraging, now we're building with the right people that run advertising, not what I did. Okay. Don't do what I did. Which is one reason why people like working with me is because like, I just straight out tell, it's not bullshit. It's like, listen, here's what I did. Don't do that. I'm the guy that blazes it. I'm the pioneer. I'm the one that gets the arrow in his back. Don't do that. You can step past my body as you go through the wreckage, and learn. I wisdom transfer, baby. Wisdom doesn't mean all the good stuff. It means all the crap too you have to go through to get there. So I say people all that stuff. So, for you, piece of cake, truly piece of cake. And so, your mastermind starts small with maybe 4 or 5 people. Big deal. Yeah.
You can get a lot in a room with 4 or 5 people. I've led masterminds and been in masterminds with 4 or 5 people, and they're almost better than the 20, 30 people ones. I mean,
I tell you what, my Safari group is 10 people right now. And I'm changing it every week. Now it's like, and I don't want to say anymore because they don't know what I'm about to do, but I'm adding more stuff for them. It's like, and I can give them the personal attention. If I had 50 people, I can't really take each one of them
do that,
individually. And it will grow to that size. It'll grow to probably about 100 within the next few months, which would be wonderful. Certainly it's a nice little budgetary thing, but it's like, okay. And that's wonderful. We aspire to that, but the people that come in at the beginning, you never forget them, and it does allow you to have that, have that connection, and that's beautiful. So I wouldn't, and the thing is, Sheila, so you do the event, in January, let's say, and so January brings you 4, 5, 6 people, whatever it is in the mastermind. Gee whiz. Oh boy. Now what? Now what?
Failing sounds great.
Well, no, I mean, I'm serious. I want to.
Yeah, I get you.
But I mean, like, here's what I'm doing. Okay. And you've known me for years, and I've had good times and bad times and a lot of struggling times living on my mom's couch and all that kind of crazy shit when the crash hit and all that business. So, I've been through all of it. The beautiful thing is now doing my life's work with what I love to do, which is like right now, getting paid for it. Holy crap. I'm not working. I'm playing. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, you do an event just like playing the numbers right now, like we just talked about. 4 people at 40,000 at 10 grand is $40,000. Yeah. How many of those do you got to do to make a living? Exactly. You do what if you did 6 of them a year, for example, it brings you 240,000. By the way, you'll get bigger numbers. We're talking small numbers here, but it's $250,000 just with doing a part-time thing that you freaking love.
Yeah.
Hello. I mean, there was I did a debrief yesterday on someone's event. I can't tell you who it was, but he had, what was the number? He had, I think it was 1,000 people in the room, and he had 200 people that bought into a $25,000 program. He did 5 $5.2 million a weekend.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And you know who it is. I'll tell you privately later.
Yeah.
You know who it is. So the numbers are there. They don't have to be giant numbers, but they can be, and I don't know that you'll get 1,000 people in a room. You have something that's niched, but you may, as you play it out, as you see how it can be played out. But even if you had 100 and you close 20%, that's 20. That's what is that? That's 20 people at 10K, $200,000 in an event. Hello, you know the numbers, and that's independent of the sponsorship money. And they'll pay the people that are going to be in that for now. They will pay for that.
Oh yeah, and that caliber of people as well. Is like it's a whole different ball game,
Yeah, exactly. So you get another 6 figures coming in off sponsorships.
Yeah.
So I mean, for my January event, seriously, now we got to talk about my January event, because my numbers will be, my numbers will be big enough that we have to have serious sponsors, not the kind of in-house things that we've done in the past. Now it's like real stuff. So anyway, what else can I do for you this morning before we close it up?
You've done a lot. This has been amazing. It's been really cool. And my first time going live on Facebook.
Yeah. So if someone were to ask you, what was this experience like for you?
I'd say it was, it kind of turned my way of thinking. I was kind of going down a path of what I thought I wanted to do, and it just kind of broadened out the scope of what I can do.
And what do you think? What does that mean to you?
So it means it's, like I was kind of looking at things from one perspective, and now it's, doing it a different way is probably going to be a lot better. Even just the way I was like visioning the product. Like going back, I said it already, but going back to the name, like it wasn't even a concern to me. It was like the material,
So this was good for you?
Yeah. Was it good for you?
I'm so excited. I'm excited about what you're going to do. I'm excited about what you're going to do. So when do you plan on? Are you now? And don't shine it on to me. What do you feel differently now about doing the 8-week versus doing an event?
Yeah, no, I definitely. I'm actually trying to text Tony. He just came home and he doesn't know we're recording, so I might just get crashed in here in a minute. Yeah, the text went through. Yeah, I do feel differently about doing the 8-week now is, like you say, it does seem very kind of spread out, and people are going to lose not that they're going to lose interest, but there's a lot, whereas if we get it all together, but I liked Amin's idea of the couple of follow-ups as well, because part of it is like I'm creating a lot of homework for people to do and things to try and getting feedback on that. So it'd be good to have a couple of sessions afterwards, maybe a couple of weeks later, like, okay, where are you at now? What's difficult?
Here's another piece that can be part of your VIP offer.
Yeah.
So
that is,
go out with a 97. My VIP is 197. And it's a big value VIP, what we've done. I forget all the things we've added to it, but it's one of the things we give them is that Zoom room for $13 a month. We give them the special.
Nice.
Yeah. Save it. You want the pro thing. You're going to save a fortune, because that pro account's $1,400 a year.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of deal I'm on, but it is exciting. And especially if you're not using it, I look at it going out every month and I'm like, should I cancel that or not?
Yeah. So there you go. And we have extra sessions and so on, but I like the follow-up piece of it. And I probably, now that you mentioned that, or Ozzy mentioned that, I might do something like that, add that in as well. It does give people a second opportunity. The other thing you can do too, Sheila, is give your alumni the ability to come back again for free.
Oh yeah.
That's what we did this week. So I went out with that. I went out with that today. So come back to do Pride again, because what does it do? It gives you another chance, another bite of the apple. Now maybe they're in a different economic position. Now they can come join you. So so now they can go and come in the mastermind, because you're not going to go sell the mastermind independently. You're gonna just low hanging fruit. You sell the beginning of the relationship, and it could be also in the future. You could do a challenge too, different conversation. Mm-hmm. But you know what Roland did, and it works. So and I did the same thing. So
nice.
And you and I both know why it worked. So it makes an abundance of sense. Anyway, I got to get ready for my next call.
Well, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
It was supposed to be. you have a date in mind for when you're going to do the first event?
Yeah, I gotta look in the calendar and see, but I'm thinking maybe around, I don't know what day this falls on, but maybe around the middle of January, like the 15th-ish,
Okay. All right.
15th-ish,
That would
somewhere
be the
around
week
there.
before, that would be the week before my next Pride. So,
Oh, okay. We'll be
so
competing.
no, we're not competing. You're doing it before or after.
I'm joking.
I know. No. It's different audiences, but well, not so much different audience. Similar demographic, frankly, because
Yeah.
my people would need yours. If you did it, I'm just thinking, and we should talk about this later, depending upon schedules and dates and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to whenever. I'm supposed to be on a cruise from the 3rd until the 16th, which I'm pretty sure isn't happening. So
Yeah, a cruise in your brain.
it hasn't been cancelled yet, but I doubt we're going.
I do too.
Yeah.
That would not be great.
Yeah.
A dear friend of mine mentioned to me yesterday that she's got her whole family has COVID now.
Oh, wow. Seriously?
After Thanksgiving, yeah, she had company for Thanksgiving, and they all have COVID now.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that hit pretty close to home. So
Yeah.
just be careful.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was thinking about is that what we could do is just also to build an audience is give your event as a bonus, but I wouldn't want to do that till after my event's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like come to
I
VIP.
mean, I could go later. The 22nd is a good date as well. I should look at the calendar. I'm not even sure what the weekends are.
22nd is my date, so we're not going to do it at the same time. But
okay.
we can talk about it
Don't do
offline.
it in February. We're just postponing this more and more. I'd be done with my 8-week by February. You can.
Shut up. I know. Then you know what? It doesn't. I don't have to feed into you. You know what I mean? And I could also feed into your next event as well.
Yeah.
So do your first event like January 15th. Get it done, right? And then the next event, which would probably be, I'm going to suggest a couple months later. Then I'll take my people and feed them into that for you.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
So that'll make a bunch.
And then I'll take my people and feed them into yours. And
bingo. Exactly. And
along we'll go.
Exactly. And you can give them Pride as a bonus.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
and
totally.
you can actually, if you want to do that as well.
Yeah, I did that. I did that with Sharon Sheldon. It was like the best deal. It was the best deal ever for both of us. She had a launch coming up of back in September for what was it? It was a virtual summit program that she had. Yeah. And I mean, I talk about virtual summits. I'm not a giant fan, and I tell people why, but at the same time, it made me where I am today. So, there's pluses and minuses. You just got to be aware of the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, hell, Opportunity-thon in April was 55 speakers. It potentially is going to make me millions of dollars. So yeah, not a bad play. But anyway, I said to Sharon, I said, tell you what, give Pride away as a bonus to your people. All they got to do is pay for the swag. All they got to do is pay for the swag. So she went out and she filled about 35 seats for me.
Nice.
And of those 35, I think 2 of them ended up upgrading to Safari. So I made no money on the front end. They just cover the swag. And I required the swag because I wanted them to have that experience. So I filled the room at zero cost once again, right? Zero cost, right?
Yeah.
And we made sales out of it. So that's so wherever I can do that and joint venture with someone and give it away, but not give it away,
right.
Then I don't want them coming in with just no skin in the game, because then there's not a lot of qualification. But I did a challenge with it was a donation, $31 to the Unstoppable Foundation. Anyway, nice. we can talk more later, but those opportunities are there for sure. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely think you should be doing that.
Yeah. Let's definitely talk. I think we can align our calendars very well.
Me thinks. Okay, kid, I got to run. I love you to pieces. I love you to pieces. Thanks for having thanks for having the courage to do this publicly.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm serious. It really, a lot of the people that are watching can be helped by this.
Yeah. No, you have to get vulnerable, I think, and just. Yeah.
You have so much, and you have so much to offer. If people want to hear more about what's coming, contact me. Just reach out to me or find Sheila. There's 2 Sheilas though in Facebook, right?
Yeah. So I'll look at the other profile as well, but the profile is the one with me with my 2 kids. So it's like 3 of us in the picture.
But if you can't find her, just message me on Facebook, because you're seeing me on Facebook now. And for those of you that want to come join us this weekend for Pride, Go to joinpride.com/now. I'm going to put a link up there real quick for you to join us. You know what? I don't even have one. How about that?
Well, it says it after your name, so.
Yeah, but if you do join Pride, www.join. Hang on, I got to do it right. Brian, I can't even read it from this distance. There you go. Okay, so if you go to, there we go. If you go to joinpride.com/now, it'll give, and just make sure you put in coupon code Pride97. You come into Pride for $97. So,
Thanks.
and it starts Friday. So it's Friday starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time till God knows when we finish. And it'll go the whole, and it's going to be intimate. It'll be really, it'll be worth, I mean, it's a $2,000 program. Well, let me rephrase. It's a $5,000 program. What it originally sold out for years ago. In July, we sold it at $2,000. The order form you'll see is $2,000. But it's, post Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Ken's crazy, fill the room. So $97 right now. All right. We be done. I love you to pieces. Thanks for your courage today. And I'm real excited for you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.